It was a perfect day, warm, but with a brisk sea breeze. The thick white clouds rushing across the sky matched the restless white caps of the ocean below, the foam of their peaks rising and falling beyond the breakers that crashed against the rocks just beyond where we all stood. Sandra and I had come to this small island in the Atlantic where Sandra had spent every summer of her childhood just for this day, a family reunion. There were over 80 people in all. They had come from across the country and around the world to gather at one of the family's few remaining cabins, a rustic structure that stood just a few yards from the beach. It had a hand pump and the sink for water, a fireplace for warmth, and candles and oil lamps for light. By now, the party had been going on for several hours, and it was time to eat. Already fires were being built to boil the water for the lobsters and the corn on the cob. I waited in line and filled my plate, then looked around for a place to sit. There were very few chairs. Most were taken by the elderly and the handicapped. Sandra had taken one from the start, but I had spent much of the day standing, moving from one conversation to another. But now I longed for a seat. I couldn't imagine trying to eat a lobster while standing, holding my plate with one hand and trying to open the lobster with the other. It wouldn't work. At last I spotted a vacancy, an open chair on the back porch. I claimed it and found myself sitting beside Sandra's sister, Nancy, and her Aunt Loie. What luck, I thought. I was glad for the chance to talk with Nancy and Loie. I liked them both. It was always a particular joy to speak to Loie, for example. Loie is in her late 80s. She is Sandra's mother's sister, and Sandra has always been very close to her, even more so since her mother died. Loie is, and always has been, fun-loving, outspoken, irreverent, and funny. Although her life has not always been easy, she has always made the most of it, and somehow always seemed to have a good time doing so. As I sat down, Loie was saying, family, friends, food, all here on this lovely place. You know what this is? It's heaven. Especially when the food is lobster, Nancy said. Yes, and corn on the cob, Loie said. It's heaven. It is, I agreed. With that, Loie turned to put down her corn on the cob that she was holding and turned to me. You really think so? She asked. I mean, you're a priest. Do you think so? You mean, do I really think that this is heaven? I asked, surprised. Well, sure, it couldn't be nicer. Yes, but I think it really is like heaven. This is exactly how I picture it. It's just how I picture heaven. Well, that's fascinating, I said, pausing in my meal to turn to her. Please tell me more. Well, the important part, she said, is all the people. That's what I believe heaven is. I know that when I go to heaven, I'll be surrounded by everyone I love. We'll all be spirits, of course, which means that we can do some things we can't do now. That's because I believe that everyone I love will be in my part of the heaven. But maybe some of those people I love and want to have in my heaven won't want me in their heaven. So I won't be. That's not possible here, but in heaven it will be. So the only people in heaven will be those you love and no one you don't love. Is that right? I asked. That's it exactly, she said. The only people in my heaven will be the ones I love. The others will be in heaven too. They'll just be in a different part of heaven. Or maybe in a different heaven. I don't know. After all, Jesus did say that in my Father's house there will be many mansions. Yes, he did, I said. Some people also asked Jesus about husbands. about what happens in heaven if you have more than one husband on earth. I know that you were married twice, for example. Yes, Lois said, 2 husbands and a long-term partner. Right, I said. Jesus seemed to say that there would be no marriage in heaven. Of course, Lois said. We'll be spirits. There'll be no need for marriage. And how about your husbands and your partner, I asked. Will they be with you in heaven? Oh, no, Lois said with a laugh. Well, Joe, my dear partner will be. Oh, I miss him so much. And I don't know. Maybe I'll let my second husband in too. It wouldn't be too bad to see him again. But my first husband, no, definitely not. I saw him all I wanted before he left me, which wasn't soon enough. I spent too much time on earth with him. I don't want him in heaven too. Not in my heaven. He won't be in hell, though. I don't believe in hell. He'll just have to find his own heaven, if anyone can stand him to be with him. But no hell, I repeated. No, she said, no hell. I don't know what will happen to bad people. Maybe they will. Well, I just don't know. But no hell. And what will all of you be doing in your heaven? I asked. Oh, we'll just be having a good time, like today, Lois said. Will there be lobster and corn on the cob? I asked. Oh, why not? She said. It doesn't really matter what we'll be doing, because we'll all be with those we love. We'll do what we always do. I'll talk and laugh and tell jokes, and sometimes I'll get a little rowdy the way I do, and I hope people won't be shocked. I don't think they will, because it will be heaven. Yes, I said, and people enjoy you when you get rowdy here too. Well, I don't know about that, she said, but in heaven, people will get along. Everyone will get along. That's what will make it heaven. People will be together and they will all get along. Why do you think we'll be able to get along in heaven, even though we can't get along now? I asked. In heaven, we'll be perfect, Lois said. We're not perfect now. What will make us perfect, do you think? I asked. I mean, what will be different? What will we have in heaven that we don't have now? Oh, I'm not sure, she said, then paused to consider. You know, she said after a moment, what I think it is that once we're in heaven, we'll finally see that being together and getting along is the only thing that's really important. Here we keep forgetting that, but there we won't. We'll see that this is what heaven is. Being with those we love and really enjoying it. Yeah, I see that, I said. Heaven won't be heaven unless we're with those we love. Exactly, Lois said. So, you believe that too? I do, I said. Heaven is all about being connected. We're actually all connected with each other as it is. But it is only in heaven that we really are able to see that. It's only there that we'll be able to fully live it out. I'm not sure exactly what it will look like, but I believe that it will be far more wonderful than any of us can ever imagine. You're right, though. I think that something like today is just about as close as we can get to heaven in this life. In fact, there's only one thing that would make it better. What's that? Loie asked. One more corn on the cob. Go for it, she said. I will, I said. And I did. Amen.